You know, I like black magic more than Grandma right now. That's certainly a thing. Alright. Chapter 16. Night of Your Life. So who do you think it'll be this year? No one knows, but I'm putting my money on that Tumbleweave character. Really? I was betting on Black Diamond. His knife skis really are quite fetching. Do you think they have the hero out here with us, or hiding away somewhere backstage? Oh. Well, you overhear two women whispering loudly nearby, their diamond earrings jangling as they gab. It still hasn't quite settled in that they're talking about you. This whole damn party is for you. It all seems to be happening at warp speed. You really should be ecstatic, but one thought dominates the others. Grandma should be here with you. You scan the crowd to distract yourself, taking in the gorgeous gowns and elaborate costumes in the room. It's littered with socialites, politicians, and famous heroes. Everyone who's anyone in MC is invited to the hot party. Of course, the elites of the press world are also in attendance, along with dozens of aspiring heroes, invited to the party to act as decoys for you. You know, I almost feel as if I'm getting set up here. I really do. I can't imagine how I've qualified for this award already. You try to see if you can spot Sonya, but it appears she still hasn't arrived yet. The author of the hot profile is usually an aspiring writer as well, so their identity is kept just as secret as the inductees. Perhaps that's why you haven't seen Sonya here yet? You can't help but be a little worried, though, considering she hasn't answered any of your calls since you arrived. Luckily, the organizers of the event and some key members of the Hot Board were here to greet you and fill you in on the evening's proceedings, in private. Right now, you are just supposed to enjoy the party and mingle a bit. So you decide that's what you're going to try to do. Who do you want to talk to? Definitely not Rexford Chillers, definitely not Mayor Victon, definitely not the diva. Let's visit Toronto Rain's parents, how about? Anyone would recognize the McNeils, the famous couple that owns the Millennial Orbit. You're about to go introduce yourself when you remember that Toronto's Rain's parents don't know she's been working with you, and they'd probably be more inclined to have you arrested than thank you. Ooh. Thinking better of it, you decide to steer clear of them instead. Maybe the virtuous reality video game executive? The executive, who could never remember your name, stands in the corner, draining a martini glass. Since you didn't turn in the last report you were paid for, you probably shouldn't approach her. However, you're in costume, so she'll have no idea who you are. Hello, you say as the executive heads for the bar. I'm the ineffable. She looks you over with disinterest. She must get approached by wannabe heroes all the time, especially since her name tag indicates that she works at Virtuous Reality Games. She gives a polite nod and orders another martini. What brings you here, you ask, happy to be making her as uncomfortable as possible. We're basing a video game on this year's Hot, she says, staging her drink. The game will follow that hero teaming up with all the past Hots. That sounds promising, you say with a smile. Just then the executive tilts her head slightly. Hey, have we met? Best of luck with the game, you say, quickly turning to go. Satisfaction pours over you. A few short weeks ago, you were testing video games, and now they'll be making a game with you as the star. Things could be worse. You know, I probably could afford to refund them what they paid me, probably. You try to decide who to talk to next, scanning the crowd once again. But that's when you spot someone who makes you do a double take. It's Jenny. And she's not in her usual ponytail getup. She's wearing a floor-length nude dress that clings to her slender frame with surprising elegance. She stares at you from across the ballroom, waving sheepishly. You make your way over to her, smiling widely. What? No ponytail? Don't make me punch you in public, Jenny. Don't make me punch you in public, Jenny says, smiling back at you. How are you here right now, you ask, feeling immediately guilty for not telling Jenny about the hot party sooner. With all that happened with Grandma, you couldn't really bear to face anyone, especially not Jenny. Well, since you so rudely forgot to invite me, Jenny says, not stopping to let you apologize. Your grandmother called me. She didn't know if you'd want her here, so she asked me to come. Hearing this, your heart threatens to crack in half. And let me tell you, finding formal wear on such short notice was not easy, Jenny says, adjusting the straps of her dress. But you just try to keep yourself together, asking, Is Grandma all right? She was still with Toronto Rain last I spoke to her. She was going to head back home once she knew you'd be here, Jenny says, putting a hand on your shoulder. But listen, this is incredible news, the ineffable. You have to... What Grandma did was wrong, you say, cutting Jenny off. But still, she should be here. I know, Jenny says, but as your PFPP agent, I probably wouldn't have allowed her to come anyway. It would have made it rather easy to unearth your identity. One look at the old lady sobbing in the front row and your cover would have been blown. You nod. Jenny is right. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop you from feeling completely awful. But we can sort that all out later, Jenny starts, lowering her voice to a whisper. The ineffable. This whole thing is bloody outrageous. How did it even happen? You must tell me everything. You're about to fill Ginny in on the whole Sonya saga, when you realize that you still haven't heard from her. You were sure she'd want to go over the details of the reveal with you before things started rolling. I'll tell you everything in 1 second. I just have to take care of something, you say, stepping away from Ginny before she can protest. You walk into the hallway and ask Meatchip J2 to call Sonya again, a request that doesn't go over too well. All these calls to Sonya and not a single one to Black Magic, J2 mutters while dialing. Ignoring your incredulous Meatchip, you sigh as Sonya's phone starts to ring, fully expecting to be directed to her me-mail yet again. Which is why you nearly jump when Sonya actually does answer, her holographic image flashing in front of your eyes. Except it's not Sonya, you see. It's Prodigy. She looks as statuesque as ever, wrapped in her red-striped Kevlar bodysuit. She stares at you with her arms folded, a grin stretching through her face mask. My little the ineffable, I thought you'd never ring, Prodigy says. Don't you know it's rude not to call a girl back after the first date? I do not recall what voice I had for her. A million questions begin to run through your mind, but you try to keep focused, deciding to ask, what do you want with me? How deliciously narcissistic. But come now, do you really think you'll be the one calling the shots here? Prodigy asked, laughing. No, I'm going to tell you exactly what I want, and nothing more, chicken. And you're going to have quite the choice to make. You quickly decide that you should go grab Jenny. But how are you going to get to the crowd without... No, I can already see that little mind of yours churning. You will tell no one else about this phone call. Do you want to know why? You nod, not sure what else to do. Because I kidnapped your reporter friend. Oh, and your little sidekick too, Prodigy says, offering a healthy pause to let that sink in. Now, here's the real kicker. If you don't do exactly as I say, Prodigy finishes, they're both going to die. Your heartbeat thunders in your ears. Can that even be possible? What if Prodigy is bluffing? As if on cue, the holographic image shifts, so that you can see Sonya and Tarana Rain, both of whom are tied to chairs and gagged. Your stomach drops. Don't bother wondering how I got a hold of them or where we are. You won't have time for silly worries like that. You know you should be terrified for Sonya and Tarana Rain, but one thought crashes through everything else. Tarana Rain was supposed to be with Grandma. Were they still together when Prodigy kidnapped her? And if they were, would Prodigy have any reason to hurt her? Just as you're about to ask about Grandma, you realize that you can't. Not unless you want to give away your secret identity. You curse Grandma for refusing to have a me chip installed. Without one, you have no way of getting in touch with her. And if anything has happened to her, after the way you left things... Straining to focus, you think at me chip J2, drafting a mental text to Jenny. Check on Grandma now. Don't ask questions. I'll explain later. You finish, and hope you've practiced the thought command function enough for the text to go through. Now listen carefully, because I'm only going to say this once, Prodigy says, interrupting your thought process. I do feel rather terrible about ruining your big night, so I suppose I'll be a bit generous. I was going to kill both of these darlings, but I think I'll let one live. And that choice, big hero, is entirely up to you. You struggle to keep up. Prodigy can't possibly be asking you to do what you think. I'm not going to play by your rules. Wrong answer, the ineffable, Prodigy says, holding up a rather nasty-looking handgun. Now I'm giving you quite the opportunity here. You get to save a life. That's every hero's dream, right? So here's how it's going to work. You choose, Tarana Rain or Sonya. Whoever you decide to save will be teleported right to your side, and then you can go back to enjoying your big night in peace. The other, well, you won't be seeing them again for quite some time, I fear. This can't be real. You press your brain for some unseen solution, but all you can come up with is trying to stall. You have to buy more time to think about. I'm giving you 2 minutes to make this decision, Prodigal says, once again a step ahead of you. If you fail to do so in the allotted time, or try to break the rules in any way, I'll simply shoot them both. So no funny business, you hear? As Prodigal says this, she holds up a clock that begins counting down. 1 minute, 55 seconds remain. How on earth can you make a decision like this? Well, Batman would do the traditional, I don't play by your rules, and find a way to save everyone. At least that's what I've learned. Every time the superhero does this, I mean, it never goes wrong, right? The superhero always rescues everyone involved, right? I say this with a measure of sarcasm. I'm no comic book buff, but I do have some familiarity with various characters and stories. The ineffable, a voice says from behind you. Oh, excuse me. The ineffable, a voice says from behind you. You twirl to find the president of the HOT board staring at you. Come with me, it's almost time. By the way, have you heard from Sonya? You don't have time for this. What do? I'll go look for her now. Without waiting for the president's response, you run for the bathroom. Alright, yeah, sure. Run for the bathroom. You need a quiet place to think. By the time you get inside an empty bathroom stall, you only have 50 seconds left on the clock. Oh, this is going to be awkward. I love how I'm thinking about how awkward it's going to be when we're both in the bathroom together. Whoever I end up rescuing. So who is it going to be? The loyal sidekick or the helpful reporter? Prodigal says, holding up her hands to weigh the options. I do like a nice ethical conundrum. It really does show one's true colors, don't you think? What will good old the ineffable do? Will he save the reporter who's about to give him the ultimate fame? Or will he save the sidekick who helps him uphold justice? I really can't wait to find out. Fame, justice. Fame, justice. Well, I really can't wait to find out. Oh, 20 seconds left, by the way. Your vision starts to blur. You can't do this. There has to be some other way. Maybe you can send another text, ask for help. This is not a decision you can make. But as the countdown reaches 10 seconds, you realize that you really don't have a choice. You have to try to save at least one of them. You've definitely been focused on achieving fame as a hero since you started. So you have to ask yourself, would the HOT article come out if Sonya doesn't return? But how could you even care about that if you let Toronto Rain die? She is only a teenager, one who has saved your life twice now. You know, maybe I was wrong not to trust her. Or maybe she's still in on Prodigal schemes. Who can say? I don't know. Ah! You think you might faint, but force yourself to snap back to reality. Time's up, hero, Prodigal says. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. Your body goes numb, but to your surprise, you find one name pulsing through your brain. Your commitment to fame is unwavering. Really, you already made this choice for yourself over the past few weeks. You have to choose to save Sonya. Thy will be done, Prodigal says, bowing her head. Be seeing you soon, the ineffable. Before you can respond, the call goes dead. Your stomach turns. Hunching over and pulling off your mask just in time, you vomit into the toilet in great spasms. Once done, you wipe the sweat from your brow and try to stand, finding that your legs feel like jelly. How could this? This can't be. Then one thought strikes you. Where is Sonya? Shouldn't she have teleported here? What a Prodigal was. You know what? Yeah, let's think about that instead, since we're so focused on it. Before you can finish that thought, Meechip J2 appears to recite a text from Ginny. I'm on my way to your apartment. What's going on? Please call me, Grimith. I don't like this. Thank goodness. You couldn't handle it if something happened to Grandma. You force yourself to envision Jenny walking into your apartment and finding Grandma safe and sound, sitting in a recliner, or feeding Tropez. That thought calms you for a moment, but then you scream as a loud bang suddenly echoes beside you. You spin and nearly choke with relief. It's Sonya, who is still gagged and bound to a chair. Not daring to think about Tirana Rain, you rush forward to untie her. No, 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 Sonya says once ungagged, trembling and crying. No, please, no. It's all right, you're safe now, you say, hugging her tightly and praying that this is all some kind of twisted dream. What happened? I don't know, is all Sonya can muster. Sonya, you have to tell me what happened, you say, shaking her a bit. Your nerves are so frayed you can't help it. That prodigal woman ambushed me as I was leaving to come here, Sonya starts. Next thing I knew, I was tied up. It was too dark. I had no idea where I was. My mead chip was missing, too. Prodigal took it so no one could track me. Sonya holds up her vacant wrist, and the thought of losing mead chip J2 sends a wave of fear through your gut. Right before she teleported me here, Prodigal told me to take you back into the main ballroom. No. You say we have to go find Prodigal now. I really think we should listen to her, Sonya says. Please? You really don't want to. But Sonya looks so terrified, you can't find it in you to say no. All right, let's go. You and Sonya run into the main ballroom, but no one even notices. No one even notices. Everyone is transfixed by a video that plays on a large hollow monitor on the front stage. Tirana Rain appears on the monitor, displayed in front of a crowd featuring MC's finest. All you can think is, yes, she's still alive. At least until she starts speaking. The hero named the Ineffable betrayed me in my hour of need, Tirana Rain says through sobs. I was his sidekick, but he failed to save me after all that I've done for him. I've saved his life twice. The Ineffable is nothing but a hack. A danger to society, a selfish sociopath. It was hard choosing Sonya for Tirana Rain, but I know it was the right thing to do. This shit was gonna happen anyway to me. That'll be enough from you, Prodigal says, stepping into the frame with her gun raised. There are several screams in the crowd as Prodigal points the gun at Tirana Rain. Tirana! Not my baby girl! A woman screams from somewhere nearby. You completely forgot that Tirana Rain's parents were here. Wow. This is more awful than you can possibly imagine. No! Tirana Rain screams. You said if I recited your speech that you'd spare. But next, there's a loud bang. Then silence. Oh, I got an achievement. I was named Millennia City's Hero tomorrow. Alright. Hey there, Millennial City! Millennia City, Prodigal proclaims, turning toward the horrified crowd. I have some breaking news for you. I'm happy to announce that your brand new hero of tomorrow is none other than the Ineffable. Let's give him a round of applause. But all that can be heard are muffled gasps, and sobs. And here's another juicy tidbit for you. The Ineffable is really Grimith Sterling. Though before his time in the Powered Family Protection Program, he was known as Grimith Reaper. Prodigal says the words, and you struggle to understand exactly what they mean. They sound foreign to you somehow. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Ineffable is the spawn of the Sound and the Fury. The heroes responsible for the murder of Miss Artillery. The crowd ripples with whispers, but you can't seem to take any of it in. This simply cannot be happening. Yes, folks, you heard it here first. Grimith Reaper is Millennia City's Hero of Tomorrow. And what a bright future MC will have under the Ineffable's purview, hailing from a family now responsible for multiple murders. And finally, this breaking news report has been brought to you courtesy Millennia City's Villain of Tomorrow, Prodigal. Well, at least I was named the fucking Hero of Tomorrow. With that, the monitor goes black. And so do you, as everyone in the ballroom turns to look at you and Sonya. That's also when you realize that you never put your mask back on after throwing up. Which means that right now, all of Millennia City can see you for who you really are. This is how your parents must have felt that day, when their lives ended forever. You find it hard to I find it hard to speak. Alright. Well, Good news. Good news. Good news. I'm here tomorrow. So that's the thing. See? I was totally right not to trust her. She sold me out. Ah, shit. Whew. Heady stuff.